Hello and welcome to this session, Bring the Microsoft Teams platform to life with free app templates from Microsoft. My name's Stuart Ridout and I'm going to be taking you through this session for the next 45 minutes. But before we get started, I want to just thank our sponsors for Scottish Summit: ScriptRunner, DQ Global, Proximo 3, RedSpire, Agilysys and Hitachi Solutions. So as I say, my name's Stuart Ridout. I'm a modern work customer success manager at Microsoft. And what that basically means is I work with a number of our customers. I work within central government to try and help them harness the power of Teams and make the most of their investment in the Microsoft 365 platform. I've got a Twitter handle there on screen and a YouTube channel where I publish out videos with tips and tricks and tutorials that help people to kind of get to grips with Teams and other things that are on the platform. So today I want to talk about Microsoft Teams specifically and how you can get more out of the Teams platform, because Teams is more than just chat and meetings. So we all love Teams for chat and collaboration, and I'm sure that people wouldn't argue that the meeting experience in Microsoft Teams is vastly better than anything they had previously experienced in things like Skype for Business, etc. But those are still fairly basic uses of Microsoft Teams. And for organizations really to be able to kind of harness that investment that they've made in the Teams platform, they need to start to bring those business processes into Teams and integrate things like line of business apps and just make it easy for people to interact with Teams in the place where they already work. Now that sounds like that could be a difficult task to do, but luckily Microsoft have released lots of app templates which make it easier for you to get started. And the address is here on the right hand side if you go to aka.ms/app templates. And there's lots and lots of different types of app templates on there. So there could be bots on there, power apps, different ways that you could integrate with systems. But all of these are open source app templates for Microsoft Teams. So they're a great starting point if you need to start to develop your app. So because they're open source, that means that you've got complete access to how they work. So if you need to change it, make it different work for your organization, it's really easy to do that, especially if you take things like the Power Apps where you've got all of the access to everything there. But the same for the Azure apps that power things like bots, etc. So just want to kind of kick off and just have a look at that app templates page. So here it is here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. So you can see here there are lots and lots of different app templates. And what I don't want to do is go through all of these today, but I just want to highlight some of the ones that people get a lot of value out of. Now, we make it really easy for you. We pop a star on newly released app templates. So if you pop back every couple of weeks, you'll be able to see which ones have been newly released. And all of these are on GitHub. So as I said, they're completely open source and they've got great support for things like cost estimate, documentation, diagrams that show how the architecture of it works, the whole lot. So the first one I'm going to just kind of talk about is Adoption Bot. So this is a question and answer bot, and it's powered by virtual agents, by Power Virtual Agents. So it is completely within the seeded Microsoft 365 license that you already have. So what we're saying there is it's not going to cost you any additional money to deploy. So this has, we've pre-filled ours with about over 100 common questions about Microsoft Teams, but you can set this up however you want. I'm actually going to look at this a little bit later. And actually, I'm going to show you how easy it is to build this. So we'll come back to that later, but we've got things here like Appointment Manager, which enables businesses to organize appointments. There is an Ask Away bot, which allows people to ask questions to other employees. If you're working in the retail sector, Associate Insights gives you an app that you can get retail workers or anybody who works in a frontline customer-facing role to be able to report feedback, and then it surfaces it out into this beautiful Power BI dashboard here. There's things for attendance on training courses, a bot that helps you book a room, a building access solution, which allows you to have people book spaces within a building. So this would be great if you're looking at a return to work solution at the moment. And this is another one that we're going to demo in today's session. But things like celebrations, it helps you celebrate workers' anniversaries, birthdays, etc. Checklist. If you're in education, there's one here called Classroom Drop-In, which allows teachers or observers to add themselves into lessons for a certain period. Company Communicator is something that a lot of my customers get a lot of value out of, and we're going to be going over that in a little bit more detail as our first featured app template. But basically it allows you to send targeted communications out across your organization. So you can see as we go through here, there are a lot of great apps here. Coworker Appreciation is a great one. Some of them are things like Employee Ideas, which is actually a Dataverse for Teams app, but this has been converted into a full Dataverse app template to make it really easy for you to download and install. But loads of different ones here. We've got FAQ plus apps. We've got this one here, Get Support, which allows people to rapidly get assistance. So the scenario here is for a call center, but again, it could be in a retail environment, an educational environment, whatever. They can just press a button on an app and it will send a message to get some rapid support through to them. Again, more ideas, activities here, things that allow people to list things that they want to learn. We've got HR support bots. Icebreaker is a fantastic bot. Lots of my customers love this one here. This is an app that you can put into Teams. In this virtual world, we've kind of lost those coffee break moments where people all kind of come together. So Icebreaker allows you to periodically set up matches between random employees. So you might say every week or every 2 weeks or whatever, it sends you a message and says, right, you need to go and chat to this person. Why not go and chat about this? And just kind of enables that conversation starter to happen that we're not seeing in the virtual world. Incentives is a power app that allows you to kind of incentivize employee in participation in certain things like training, change management, etc. We've got incident reporting, issue reporting, new employee onboarding templates, open badges, polling responses, another rapid assist one, ways to reflect on a day or an activity to see how you feel, etc. So you can see here, through here, there are lots and lots of different ones. Another one which is really popular for a lot of my customers is the Request a Team app. So if you don't want to just give everybody the ability to create their own teams in Microsoft Teams, Request a Team is a great Power App solution which is built upon the Microsoft Graph that allows people to request a team, and then it follows it through an approval process, and then finally it will automatically create that team for them. So these are all really great app templates there. So you can see, really easy to get to, just go to aka.ms/app templates. And what I should show you as well, so let's just pick one, for instance, like FAQ plus. So underneath each of these, there is a link here which says get it on GitHub. So if you click onto that, it will take you through to the GitHub repository for that. Okay, so all of the code that you need is here, but they are really well documented. So if I click on documentation here for FAQ plus, we can see that it's got lots and lots of information here. It's got screenshots as well to show you how you do that. It's got cost estimates on how much it's going to cost you if it uses maybe some Azure components. It's got solution overviews telling you what the components are and what the architecture is. So if you need to take this through a change board or an approval board or something like that within your organization, then you've got all of that information there you need to be able to do that. And then if we just head to the deployment guide, you can see here they're really detailed deployment guides that tell you exactly how you can deploy all of these. And we're going to use one of those deployment guides when we deploy a solution in a little bit, when we're going to deploy the adoption bot, which will help you to kind of implement a FAQ using Power Virtual Agents. So as I say, it makes it really easy for you to get started. So let's look at the first one then, which is Company Communicator. So the Company Communicator app enables corporate communication teams to create and send messages intended for multiple teams or large number of employees over chat, allowing us to reach those colleagues just where they collaborate within teams. So instead of sending out those broadcast emails, which kind of get lost and move down the chain, the company communicator messages can either go into the chat stream for that person, or they can go into the general channel for different teams. And there's lots of different ways that you can target organizations. So you could say, I'm going to send something to everybody within the organization, or you could target people by their team membership, or by security groups, distribution lists, etc. So it's a really powerful solution that will help you to kind of send the right comms at the right time to the right people. So let's have a look at this and see how this works. So we can see here, this is my Microsoft Teams, and Company Communicator, I've actually got it pinned here onto the left-hand bar. So it's really easy for people to find, but it would also live within the chat as well. And you can see here that I've got a card that's come in, a communications card that's come in, that's saying the virtual visit is now live. It's got a picture, it's got a message here, it says who's published it, and it's got a button for further information. And then we can target who that goes out to. So let's have a look and see what that looks like from a user perspective in terms of setting that up. So I've gone here into the team that has the application for Company Communicator. And you can see here that we've got draft messages that we've already prepared. And then underneath we have a series of sent messages. And you can see here for these, we can see how many have been delivered, how many weren't delivered, etc. and the time. Okay, and then you can, if you want to duplicate it and reuse it again, you can do that. You could click view status and it will give you the information in a table view showing you when it's sending started, how long it took to send all those out, etc. But let's just scroll up here and let's have a look at these draft messages. So I've got one here that I've been working on, which is about the new employee experience. Now it could be that I just click new message and I start to create that from scratch, but I've already started this one here. So I'm going to edit this one, clicking on that ellipsis here. So you can see for our messages, we've got titles. So this one here, it says new employee experience, which is shown in a nice big bold text here. We have a URL for an image. So this here is showing you a Microsoft image, and the text. So here we've got the text that we're going to be using in our card. So if I wanted to add the author information, there it is. I can just pop my name in that. Then we've got this button here for the call to action. So we've got Viva, and then this is taking us off to the Microsoft Viva webpage. So I've drafted up my message here. I'm going to click next. And you can see here, it's now saying, how do you want to send your message? So as I say, you can send it into channel. So we can send it into the general channel of specific teams. So if we click here, if I wanted to send it into the Princeton office team, then I could do that by just clicking on that drop down. I could send it in chat to specific people, so I could pick their names out of here, or different teams, or I could send it in chat to everyone. So everyone in my organization is going to have that. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to send it into the general channel of the human resources channel. There we go. And I now save that as draft. So then what that means is you can then say to someone else, can you just go and check that before we move forward with publishing it? So then if somebody wanted to go and do that, they might preview it to see what it looks like. And then when they're happy, they would just click send. Okay, it gives you that confirmation, shows you the preview there. Okay, tells us where we're going to send it. So you can hit send. And then that will be posted out and it will go into the HR channel here. And there you go. So we can see that that card has come straight into there. But if we went back and we went into Company Communicator again, and let's just pick a different one here, we could have just as easily sent it out to go into individual people or to everyone in the organization. So if I send in chat to everyone, save that as draft, there we go, and then we hit send. Again, we've got that confirmation message saying who are you going to send it to. We've got the card there, we've got that nice button which will give us our call to action, etc. And then we hit the send button, there we go, and you can see that it's already come straight into me, into my team. So it came here into my chat, there it is there, but it also came into the badge appeared there on the Company Communicator app on the left hand side. So that is a great app to be able to get started with revolutionizing your company communications. So whether it's sending important messages from the CEO, or whether it's doing things like, for instance, if you run the IT help desk, being able to send information about system outages and things like this, great app for doing that. Okay, the next app that I want to look at is the Building Access Power App. So this is a power app that allows you to plan for people coming back into the workplace. It allows employees to request a day pass for part of the building. Depending on how you use it, you could also use it for setting up desks, etc. And then at time of arrival, they can show their phone to either like a security guard, or they can do a self check-in, and then the app knows who's in the building and who isn't in the building. So if somebody does report with COVID symptoms, then you can use that to do some kind of contact tracing to be able to see who was in. So this uses Power Apps, it uses Power Automate, it's built upon SharePoint, and it's serviced out in Teams. So this doesn't have any additional cost to you if you've got an Office 365 license. So let's have a look at that. So here I am in Teams. And you can see here that I've pinned that app onto the left-hand app bar. So make it really easy for people to get in. Let's just zoom in a little bit. There we go, to make it easy for people to see as well. So it knows who I am. It's pulling that in from my Active Directory information. So I can say I'm going to make a new request. So the great thing about the app is it allows you to configure these questions. You can do it however you want. And you can set it up so that people have to answer that question before they move on. So it's saying, have I displayed any symptoms in the last 14 days? No. Has any of my household? No. And will anything prevent me from being able to comply with safety procedures? No. Now, if I'd said yes on this, then it tells me that I'm not eligible for entry and I need to work with my manager to be able to move forward. But I'm going to just click no on that and click save and next. Okay, so then I need to pick where I want to work. So I'm going to click here into Microsoft House. Where do what's the reason for access? So I'm going to say essential on-site IT admin work. And here we've been able to publish what our eligibility criteria is for people to be able to come back into the office. So I can do that and click save and next. Then it's going to ask me when I want to come in. So I want to do it for the day of the 15th. Now I could do it for a full day. If I switch that off, then I could pick time slots. And again, these are configurable. So you can set these up however you want. But actually, I'm going to go for the full day. And then here within that building, it then has this concept of spaces. So a space could be an office. So if you said, I know I've got 10 spaces in the office, then you could say, well, you just need to book a space into the office and it's first come, first served. The other way you can do this is to set up all of those spaces as individual spaces with allocations of 1. So I could say, actually, I want to go into desk B2. Then all I need to do is check availability. Everything's good here. And then I can click save and next. And what that's going to do is that's going to send an approval note to my line manager, who's Alan D. Now, if for some reason I want to go to someone else, I can specify a different approver, but we're not going to do that. And I'm going to click submit. And that's going to go off now to Alan for approval. Then at time of entry, I would then have a card here at the top that says what my reservation is. I'd be able to review those. I could cancel them if I wanted. I've got this safety information here from my organization. So again, you can configure this and add whatever information you want there. And then when it comes to me wanting to log in, I can just click to go through to this. And then this is an unmanaged site, so there isn't anybody checking. So I would just manually check in. And at time of check-in, it asks me to validate those eligibility questions, because I might have booked a space 10 days ago and something might have changed to then. So I'm going to answer all of those questions. There we go, and hit submit. And then now I have checked in, I am on site. And then when I leave, all I need to do is click checkout. And then it's got me down as checking out of the building. So this is really easy to set up. And again, if we have a look here, so we're on the app template page. If we browse through to the GitHub repository and go down to the documentation, there we go. It shows us all the screenshots of how it works. And again, if I go to the deployment guide, it tells me everything I need, gives me the files there. And you can see here, there are really, really detailed instructions that tell me how I can deploy this into my tenant. So after I've done this, I'd be able to do this. Now I'm just going to show you here the back end of this to set it up from an admin perspective. So if I wanted to add a new building, I'm going to do that. I'm going to add in Ridout House. So there we go. And I'm going to be doing it at 34 Harold Street. Okay, in the United Kingdom. Okay, we can set it up to be a monitored or an unmonitored building. So that means whether somebody comes in from security who would scan people in. And then we've got this auto approval threshold. So you could say, actually, we're going to auto approve 75% of the desks. And then anything over 25% has to go through for a manual approval. Here is where you would put in that key eligibility criteria. So I would say frontline workers only. Okay. And do not use the front door. There is a security guard checking in at the side door. There we go. So once I've set up my building, okay, I can then put a space in there. So I'm going to say desk 1/A. There we go. And I'm going to just say that this is a 1-space desk. And then I'm going to say desk 1/B. There we go. But as I said, I could have a whole space. So I could say that this is going to be in the R&D office. And within the R&D office, we're going to allow 5 people to come in. Okay, and once I'm happy with that, I can do save and next. I could set a default approver for that building. So I might say, actually, anything for that building, there needs to be a specific person who does the approvals, but I'm going to leave it as is. And then I can click publish. That building is now there. So if I go back to my building access app and then go to a new request, there we go. Let's just answer all those questions. Then now in my buildings, I've got Ridout House as my option, and I can go through and do that. So hopefully that is something which has really interested you. As I say, you might be going out there and looking at paid for solutions. This is a completely free solution. And as I say, because it is open source, you can then change it and make it work for you. So if you want to add some extra buttons in there, different processes, different fields, etc., that is completely within your gift to do so. And the last one I want to look at today is the adoption bot. So the adoption bot is an FAQ or a user care chatbot, which is built with Power Virtual Agents. Now, you might have already seen FAQ Plus as one of the app templates, but some customers have challenges setting up an Azure environment within their tenancy. So the adoption bot using Power Virtual Agents is a really nice way to be able to get out around that and just use a Microsoft 365 solution only. And the great thing about this is that it's pre-filled with lots of common questions about Microsoft 365 and Teams. So I want to show you just how easy it is to create this adoption bot. So I'm going to actually install it in real time and just show you the experience. So you'd be able to do this on your own in your own tenant. So I've gone to aka.ms/app templates, and here I am on the app templates page, and I'm going to adoption bot here. So I'm going to click onto the GitHub page, and then down here we've got all of the instructions that tell us how we can do that. So I'm going to download the code, download that zip file there, and I'm going to dig in. So deployment guide, create your Dataverse for Teams environment. So I'm going to go here, and just for ease for the moment, I'm going to use, let's say that I'm going to use our, let's say I'm going to use this sales in Microsoft Team. Doesn't really matter too much for the moment. Okay, so search for Power Virtual Agents Teams app in the App Store. So I'm going to go here and the App Store, and I'm going to go for Power Virtual Agents. There it is. So I'm going to click onto that, and if I hadn't used that before, it would say add, but I'm going to click open because I've already done this previously. Okay, and it says to add the app in the Microsoft Teams and click start now. So I'm going to, let's just get rid of that for the minute. There you go. And so I'm going to click start now. Okay, and it's going to ask me where do I want to go. So I'm going to go into sales in Microsoft. There it is. And I'm going to click continue. So this is the first time that I've created a Dataverse environment in there. So it will just take a moment. It shouldn't take any more than a minute just to do that. So just while it does that, I'm going to look ahead. So we know that we're waiting for that environment to be created, and then what we need to do is import the bot into our Dataverse for Teams environment. So I have downloaded that file, as I say. So within my downloads, what I'm just going to do is unzip that file. So I will have a folder here it is, and it's got all of the information in there that I need. Okay, so has it finished? There it has. So I'm going to just cancel that. Okay. And then if we just pop back to our instructions, it says go to flow.microsoft.com. So I'm just going to do that. Let's go flow.microsoft.com, and I'm going to sign in. And then I'm going to pick my environment where I'm going to put it, which is my sales in Microsoft, and I'm going to import it. So here from the environments, sales in Microsoft. There it is there. Okay. Select solutions from the left-hand nav and import it. So I'm going to go on to solutions. Okay. And then up the top, I'm going to import and then look for my file. So here it is in my downloads. Okay, just following it through, clicking next. Okay, so and next again. Okay, then I need to just connect it up. So Microsoft Teams. I haven't done this previously, so I need to do a new connection. Okay, and all of these steps are documented in there, so I'm going to create that. Okay, and I've signed in with that account. Okay, that's all done, so I can close that, refresh it, and there you go. It's now got me connected up to Teams. Again, I need to do the same for Office 365 users. So I'm going to create that connection again. Hit create, sign in with my account, and then that connection is there. So again, refresh on the connection and import it. There you go. So now you can see there it is currently importing, and then we just need to wait for that to finish. So while we're just doing that, we're just going to go through. So again, you can see here it is talking us through all of these steps. It's showing us all of the dialogue that we want, showing you how to set up that connection there if you haven't got those connections already in place. Okay, doing the same. So this is the part that we're at. So it says select import. You will see the status bar showing the solution being imported. This can take a few minutes. And then once it goes green like that, then we know that we're all good. So let's just check on that. So it's still coming in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to look ahead a little bit so I can familiarize myself with the rest of the instructions. So once that's come in, I need to just do some configuration on the flows. So just change a few parameters in there, turn it on, and we're going to walk through all of those in just a moment. Okay, and we need to do that for both those flows. And then it looks like we'll be ready to go with that Power Virtual Agent. Okay, so let's just see if that's come in yet. It has not come in. It should be done in a moment. Okay, so we can see that that has now imported successfully. So let's just pop back to our instructions. So once the solution file is imported, we need to configure the connections. So select default solution and filter the displayed components to cloud flow. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click on default solution. Okay, and then up here, I'm going to filter that to say cloud flows. And there are the two flows that have just been imported, the Ask an Expert and the Submit Feedback. So we're going to start with Ask an Expert. Okay, so the first thing that it tells you to do is to turn it on. Okay, and we're also going to have to edit it. So let's start off with editing it. So I'm going to click edit here. Okay, so it's given us a warning here on these two connections. So I'm just going to set those connections up so it's all connected through. Lovely. And then the other thing that it tells that you need to do is update the team where it's going to be working. So here it's got some GUIDs in there from a sample database. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that. Okay, and I'm going to pick my team where I'm going to put my information. So this is going to go in Sales in Microsoft. And then which channel is it going to go into? So this is going to go into the general channel. I'm going to click Save. And once that's saved, I'm going to go back and then turn it on. And then I need to do the same steps again for the other one. So this is save. So let's just come out of that. And it's giving me this warning here. So it says turn it on. So we're just going to do that. Okay. And then we need to do that again for the other one. So here we go. We're going to open the Submit Feedback one. Go into Editor again. Reconnect those up. So there they go. Connections. Connect to that. Connect to Teams. And again, we need to pick that team so it all goes into the right place. So Sales. There you go. Sales in Marketing. And which channel is it going to go into? It's going to go into the general channel. Okay. Save that. And we're going to go back and we're going to turn that one on as well. So there we go, turn on. Perfect. So we've worked our way through those parts of the instructions. So now it says to test the bot in Power Virtual Agents. So go to the Power Virtual Agents app. So that's where we're at. Let's just click Sales in Microsoft. And there we go. We've got our adoption bot. And just while that loads. Okay, we're going to chat with our Adopt bot. So ask common questions like guests in Teams. There we go. So here is our simulator. So I'm going to say guests in Teams. And there you go. It's given us some information about guest access in Teams. And then it says, do you need additional help? And then if I did need additional help, then I could click yes. And I might say that I need to ask an expert. Okay, and then it asks for the title of your request. So it says, I don't have permission to add a guest. It doesn't work. Okay. And then the bot will do that. And now it's said, so now it's given us an error saying the bot can't talk for a while. It's something the bot's owner needs to address. Okay, so this is obviously something that we need to do. So let's just pop back onto those instructions. Okay, because now when we go through here, it says, if the ask an expert or submit feedback flow fails with sorry the bot can't talk for a while, you need to remove and re-add the add an expert action in the escalate topic. So again, it talks you through all of these steps here, but we're going to do this. We're going to go into the topics here. We're going to go into the escalate topic. Okay, and then all we're going to do is go to the authoring canvas, and we're going to remove and re-add it. So let's go down here. Okay, here is the ask an expert one. So I'm just going to delete that. Okay, and then I'm going to add that back in again. So let's just hit that plus, call an action, and I'm going to ask an expert. And then I just need to map that information back up. So the UPN is going to come from the bot user ID. The title text is going to come from that question when we said ask title. And the description text is going to come from where we said ask a description. So I'm going to save that. Okay. And I can test that bot again. So guests in Teams. Okay, I've got my information, so I can pick a question. I do need additional help, yes. I need to ask an expert. And what's quite nice is you can see that flow following through there. Okay, so it says, I don't have permission to add guests. There we go. Add a description. It doesn't work for me. There we go, and hit send. And then hopefully now the bot will work. And it says there, I've shared your question with the related experts. So if I go over to my Teams, there we go, in my sales in Microsoft one, I can see that it's published a card into that team. So that team of experts are able to help the person who needs the question. So they can just click that button there. It says chat with Jack, and they'll be able to chat with the person to kind of help them through that. So I'm just going to go back into Power Virtual Agents because we just need to finish this off, because we need to publish the bot to the end users. Okay, so now we've gone into that. Let's open our chat bots the same as before. So sales, and there is our adoption bot here. And then once that's loaded, we're going to hit the publish icon here. Okay, and I'm going to publish that. And then if I want to share the bot, then I can then download that, submit it for admin approval so that it would get added into the catalog. I can download the manifest file, so it gives me the zip file there. There we go. And then just click download manifest here. Okay, and then that will give me a zip file here. And if I have permission to do so, so let's go to apps here. I've got one upload a customized app, so I could upload it for all of Contoso. There we go. And let's just go back to our downloads. Here's our Teams app that we've put in. And if we just give it a moment, there it is there. And I can add that in. And then your Teams admin will be able to kind of pin that for everybody. And that is here now on our left-hand side. So I can say, what is Teams and why use it? Okay, put the question mark there, hit it, there we go, and it'll give us the answer and help us through. And again, it's really easy to then go through and update. So if you went to Power Virtual Agents, went into that chatbot there, and let's just pop back into that bar there. If we had a new question, or we found that it wasn't quite asking or answering the right questions, then we could go to topics here, and we could either edit this. So let's say that this needs to have some other ones. So let's say, what is Teams? Then we could add that in. And we're going, why are you making me use Teams? There you go. So you can add all of those in there. We can save that topic. We can republish the app. There we go. And then that will be reflected then in that bot, which has been uploaded here for everyone. So hopefully this is something that you've found really useful. If you do want to get started on this, all you need to do is go to aka.ms/app templates to download some of these app templates and get started trying to implement these into your own tenant. I'm Stuart Ridout. You can find me on Twitter at Stuart Ridout, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/productivity coach. Have a wonderful Scottish Summit, loads and loads of really great sessions which are all coming up. Thank you again to the sponsors, and have a great day. Thank you.